Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be who you were isn't who you are. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So who you were, it's certainly not who you are. You are a changed person forever. Post-narcissistic relationship, you're now understanding that. When you were in the relationship, you were being devalued. You were being taken for granted. You were being treated less than. You were the walking apology. You were the unpaid helper. You were the chauffeur, the butler, the person who cooked, cleaned, and drove and did everything for the narcissist. And back then you were not who you were supposed to be. You were who they trained you to be. Because when you were in that narcissistic relationship, remember, before you met the narcissist, your life most likely was going swimmingly. And then along came the behemoth, the narcissist. And they had you believe in the mask. They had you fall into the narcissistic fog. They probably love bombed you or gave you a big dose of the euphoric stage when you believed that everything was puppies and rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. It was almost too good to be true. Because why? That's right, because it was. This was all an illusion. It was a relationship built on quicksand. It was a house of cards. The narcissist was looking for somebody, and that person turned out to be you, and it certainly was me. They were looking for somebody to catapult them throughout the next leg of life. You see, they had done to you what they had done to people before they met you. And what they had done to you and those others is exactly what they're doing right now with the new supply, or the new supply's supply. Having said all these things, back when you were in the relationship, you were a people pleaser most likely. You were a yes person. You were giving to a fault. I can assure you, you didn't have boundaries. You couldn't say no, the strongest word in the English language. And you figured out that your resources were becoming depleted more and more and more. The longer you stayed in that relationship, the heftier price tag there was for you being in it. And you felt like the weight of that relationship had fallen upon your shoulders, because it did. In these relationships, the narcissist does basically nothing after they hook you, after they have you fall in love with them, or after the love bomb / euphoric stage has been completed and their job is now done. Their heavy lifting is over. What they do next is they enter, or have you enter, the devaluation stage, and that's when they slowly extract your resources, which include your time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, everything about you. They were extracting that from you. Let's focus on money for a minute. Maybe you had a boatload of money or a lot of money. It's directly contingent upon you, what you believe is or deem is a lot of money, but you probably had a lot of money when you were in that relationship, or before you entered it with the narcissist, or maybe when you were in the relationship, you received some money. Maybe you received money from a will, or the passing, or the sale of a property, or you got a bonus at work, or something happened. But if you did receive money, I can assure you, and the narcissist knew about that, that money was going to vanish into thin air, because they would make sure that you spent that money. That is why when you're in these relationships, the narcissist cares primarily about two things. One, themselves, and two, your money. Not always, but usually. And so why I said that is because when you are in the relationship and you're believing in the mask, or you're believing in the words that the person who turned out to be a narcissist was telling you, and you thought that you would grow old together, or you would create a business or a family, or relocate, all these things, you believed in all the smoke and mirrors. I did too. I understand completely. The whole point, what I'm sharing here, is the narcissist, many times, they wanted to slowly bleed you, slowly take you to the cleaners, and slowly extract your resources. And once your resources had become empty, or very low, I should say, that's when they would insert the new supply, or look to insert a new supply. Because the narcissist is always looking to elevate their game, to elevate their lifestyle, to improve in their circumstances, because they don't want to stay stuck with a person who doesn't have resources, or who is depleted, or perhaps whose health has taken a hit, or their bank account went to zero, etc. This is how the narcissist rolls through life. They are a bulldozer, bulldozing their way through life like a bull in a china shop, and they are taking whatever they can from anybody they can. And many times the people they take from are unsuspecting, kind, loving, stable, empathetic, beautiful, abundant people like you. And when they see people like you or like me, they say to themselves, wow, this is going to be really good. This person doesn't know their value or their worth, and they have a lot of resources. They have a lot of connections. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of time. They have a lot of empathy. They can actually love. Holy cow, I just hit the jackpot. That's what the narcissist thinks. But again, people like you are not a dime a dozen. You are a very rare breed, and that's why the narcissist sought you out, and that's why they entered a relationship with you and had you believe in all of their false narrative. But then again, when you were in that relationship post-love bomb stage, the narcissist was looking to break that relationship. They were testing you. They were testing your loyalty. They were testing your fortitude. They were testing your commitment. They were testing to see if you would do what they wanted you to do, when they wanted you to do it, and how they wanted you to do it. And if you didn't do what they wanted you to do, they would ghost you, or there would be a price to pay, or you would experience a rage fit, or you would be verbally abused, or you would be given the silent treatment for days or weeks on end. This is how the narcissist goes through life. They play the angle of any relationship the way they want to until they get what they want. And if they figure out that a person is wise and smart or has boundaries, well, they're going to look in another direction most likely, because the narcissist looks for people who don't know their worth or their value and who do have a lot of resources. And specifically, the narcissist looks for people who don't know what the narcissistic abusive cycle is. That was me, that was you. But the narcissist will continue to look for people, the next new shiny objects, the next new toys, the next new people to manipulate and have them enter a business with them or fall in love with them, etc., or raise their children or pay their way through life. But eventually that relationship will break, just like yours broke. And when I say break, I mean you were probably discarded, and if you were, my heart goes out to you. If you weren't discarded, you probably ended it yourself and removed yourself. And you realize either way, post-narcissistic relationship, there's a lot of healing to be done on your behalf. There is no healing to be done on the behalf of the narcissist, because there's nothing to heal from for those people. They just slither away into the darkness onto a new supply. They don't improve their life. They only improve their circumstances. They don't heal. There's nothing to heal from. They don't want to introspect or be accountable. They can't do that. That's why they will be blame shifting virtually anybody they can to take responsibility for the ending of a relationship or for anything. And the narcissist, many times when you were in the relationship with them, they were just waiting. They were waiting for you to put up a boundary, or you to say something, or you to do something. And that's all it took for them to discard you, or for them to twist things around and say, you know, this isn't going my way. I think we should end up, I think we should break up, or whatever they would say. Usually they're not going to say it that way. But the point is, they were looking for an excuse to end the relationship. And many times the narcissist has you doing the heavy lifting, and they will ask, they will push you so far that you actually end it yourself, which this is what they wanted. That is what is called a reverse discard. They have you do the work for them and you end it, but they actually wanted you to do it. There's so many layers upon layers of the onion to be peeled back post-narcissistic relationship. And remember, the further you get away from the narcissist, the clearer your mind gets, the more your health returns, the more your finances return, the more your stability returns, the more your focus and your goals and hopes and dreams and aspirations come into focus. This is when you'll have direction. This is when you will be insulated in the cocoon of boundaries. This is when you will be figuring out how long that narcissistic relationship took you down for the count, but it didn't knock you out. You see, you're getting back up, you're standing up. You were at a 10 count or a 9 count, whatever it is in boxing, but you made it to the bell, you answered the bell. That's why you're here. And you are not the same person you were before you met the narcissist. You are certainly not the same person you were when you were in the relationship. You're now either in the third version of yourself, or you are entering the third version of yourself, which is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. This is when you take the lifelong learning lessons from the narcissistic relationship and you apply them to present day. This is when you do not predict the future. And this is when you live in the present moment and you slow your life down and you process things and you really do the deep dive and process everything about that relationship. I cannot emphasize that enough. Processing thing is a pivotal part of the healing path. Journaling, reading, watching videos, writing, meditating, healing childhood wounds, seeing a therapist, doing everything you can to tie up everything from the past and process it, so that will allow you to live in the present moment and to create your new future. This is what you must do, if not now, when? But think about the version of you when you were in that relationship. You were in turbulent seas, turbulent waters. You were in a boat that did not have direction. You were floating around and the narcissist was trying to puncture holes in that boat. They did not want that boat to float. They wanted that boat to sink. And again, what happened is along the way, post-relationship, or perhaps you were wise enough to figure it out when you were in the relationship, you found that needle in a haystack. You typed in something in the search engine or into YouTube and boom, you figured out what narcissism was. And then you looked at the person you were thinking about, whoever that person was in the relationship that you were part of, or perhaps you still are part of it. Maybe it's your mom or dad or brother, sister, etc. And you said, wow, these videos or this information is checking all the boxes. This is my mom. This is my sister. This is my dad. Oh my gosh. And then you had all these light bulb moments going off. And then you went down the rabbit holes of education and exploration and self-discovery, and you realized that narcissism has been all around you throughout your whole life. Maybe even you were born into the narcissistic family. But the thing is, there was one pivotal point in your life when you got that first needle in a haystack, and when you finally realized what narcissism was. And that has changed you forever. Not just the education and the wisdom, but that you actually experienced this. And remember, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can't be making excuses for the poor behavior of the narcissist, which is what you did when you were in the relationship with them, because you didn't know what narcissism was. Now we understand what it is. We can see the signs from 10,000 miles away. We can understand what an energy vampire is. We know if we want to communicate with somebody or if we don't want to. We also know saying no is the strongest word in the English language. And when we say no to something or someone, we are saying yes to ourselves. That is a very pivotal part of almost every video I create recently these days, because you need to learn to say no. That is something that it will really conserve your energy. Do not accept a Hoover. Do not accept correspondence. Do not accept communication with the narcissist. Understand who they are. They needed, as in past tense, they needed you. You never needed them. You thought you needed them because you probably were caught up in the trauma bond, and you probably didn't know how to get out of it. But either A, you have gotten out of it, or B, you are getting out of it. The point is the narcissist needs people. That is why they hoover people. That is why they want to live in people's minds rent-free. That is why they try to draw people back into the relationships, if only for a minute, a day, a week, a month, a year, the rest of your life. Or sometimes the narcissist will hoover to try and just see if you've healed, or to see if you've seen behind the mask, or to see if you're strong enough to not accept the hoover. That is why so frequently I suggest, and I suggest strongly, to go no contact, to block these people, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? If you can't do that, utilize gray rock. Become dull and boring. Don't overshare. Don't let the narcissist know your hair color, who you're dating, who your friends are, what car you have, what your job is, your health, or anything. Let them know nothing about you, and let them just slither away off into the darkness, which is what they probably did anyway, because most likely you were discarded. Now again, I am not trying to upset you or trigger you. I'm letting you know that you need to heal from this relationship. The narcissistic abusive cycle, the relationship itself is the relationship you need to heal from. You can't just wave a magic wand or take a pill or put a Band-Aid over it and think that you're going to be as good as new. That's not going to happen. You will not get back to the way you were before the narcissistic relationship. At least that's my experience. You will also not be the person you were when you were in the relationship. You will have grown, you will have elevated, you will have ascended. You will be higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars, because now you vibrate on such a higher level when you put the narcissist and all those people from that period of time in the past, and you process things, and you drown out the toxicity, and you meditate and journal and slow your life down, and you understand that that relationship almost took you down for the count, but it didn't, and here you are. You are now in the third version of you, or you are entering it, headed towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. And this is something you had to do. You had to rise through the fire like a phoenix, and you had to really pick yourself up by the bootstraps, dust yourself off, and heal, and focus on yourself, healing yourself. That's what you must do, or that's what you have done. Remember this, the narcissist wanted you thinking about them when you were in the relationship. That's why they would text you at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's why they would be coming home late after dinner was already ready, because they wanted to invalidate you or have you stuck thinking when they're going to be home. That's why you would text them many times and they would give you a response like the letter K, or they would read it and not reply. Or that's why the narcissist would get phone calls at all strange hours of the morning, evening, and afternoon. That's why the narcissist will take their cell phones, plural, to the bathrooms. That's why the narcissist will go on so many bathroom breaks with their smartphones. It's not that they need to go to the bathroom for the reason you perhaps think they did. They were going there to get some privacy and to groom the new supply. This is what they do. These are the games of the narcissist. These are the texting games of the narcissist. These are the manipulating games of the narcissist. This is how the narcissist wants to silence people. This is how they don't want people to have voices. This is why they want people to do things for them. This is why they collect people. This is why they collect broken hearts. This is why they collect broken relationships. That is why so frequently, and I will say it for the third time, I suggest going no contact, blocking these people. The narcissist does not improve. They only deteriorate over time. And if you are stuck in that cycle with them, you're going to really need to understand that getting out of that is going to be the most important thing that you will ever do in your life. Removing yourself from the relationship, creating, developing, and executing an exit plan is imperative. Leaving them in the past, getting strong, breaking the emotional ties, the financial ties, the physical ties, and the spiritual ties. They are the four ties that must be broken. And remember, you are not the same person you once were. You're a totally changed person. And you could really zoom out for a moment. Every single person on the planet is a different person. Think about this. Yesterday, you probably weighed a little bit more or less. Yesterday, you had a couple more or less gray hairs. Today, you have more wisdom than yesterday. You've been on the planet one day longer. Life is dynamic. It's ever flowing. It's changing. And the only difference with the narcissist is they change the mask they wear. That's the only thing they change. They cannot elevate where you are reaching or you are at. You can change. That's why you're healing or you've healed. That's why you've introspected. That's why you've journaled, etc. Because you're evolving, you're changing, you're growing, and you're understanding that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and there's no room in your life any longer for a narcissist or any toxic people or any energy vampires. There is so many things on this planet for you to experience, so much abundance, so much positivity. There are so many opportunities just waiting for you to kick the narcissist to the curb. There are so many doors of abundance that will open up for you when you finally do go no contact and you heal properly and you don't accept hoovers and you understand that the narcissist needs people. The narcissist needs to feel needed. The narcissist needs to have people stuck in that devaluation stage. The narcissist needs to continue to play the games that they play, but there is no more room for those games in your life. Understand what I'm mentioning. You have elevated, you have grown, you have seen something that most people don't go through, which is the narcissistic abusive cycle. You've conquered the narcissistic abusive cycle, or you are about to. You are about to be in rarefied air if you are not there, reaching or attaining that pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference where so many of us are waiting for you. We are reaching our hands down for you to latch onto and to grab onto so we can pull you up and to get to where we are, because there is so much room for you. There is no room for a toxic person. There is no room for a narcissist. There is room for you, but you must do the heavy lifting. You must do the work. You must do what you can to insulate and protect yourself. And you must understand that you are an evolved and changed and galvanized version of yourself, and that things will improve for you once you exit the narcissistic relationship and you don't look back. This is the path. So who you were is not who you are. No truer words have ever been said. You've beaten something that you weren't prepared to beat. You've defeated something you didn't even know that you had to defeat. You were in a competition with a person who was trying to extinguish your beautiful, bright, shining light. You beat that. You did something that most people don't do. You did something that many people thought was insurmountable, but you did it. It's almost as if an alien life force landed on the planet, entered a relationship with you, and you didn't know what it was, and you went through the whole cycle of abuse, the mental, verbal, emotional, physical, financial abuse, the spiritual abuse. And then when the narcissist kicked you to the curb or discarded you, or you kicked them to the curb, I should say, then you had to heal, and you did it, and here you are. Now you're stronger than ever. You see, you are not who you once were. The narcissist is the exact same thing. They're the person that can't change. They are the dark energy force that will never improve. The narcissist is stuck down here in the low vibrational quagmire state. You are not. You are elevated higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. And I've repeated myself a few times in this video to send the message home. Go no contact, block these people. Understand you are not who you once were. The narcissist can no longer get to you. They are less than a grain of sand underneath your shoe or your flip-flop, and that's where they will stay. At one point in time, they had the best thing in their life, which was you. They no longer have you. You're healing or you've healed, and you've closed the chapter of the book on the narcissist. You are not looking back. You are maintaining no contact, and you are living your best life. Understand what I'm mentioning to you. Take action, if not now, when. Everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. And I have a lot of energy today. I may create another video. I am not certain, but I hope you enjoy this one. Play it a few times, share it, pass it forward. And if your cup is full, continue to help people out around you, those loved and trusted ones around you. If your cup isn't full yet, heal. Play videos, journal, meditate. Slow your life down, process things, and understand that where you are today is not where you will be in 3 months, in 6 months, or in 9 months. Continue on the path moving forward each and every day. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Or maybe today, I'm not sure. Love you guys. Bye.